Conor McGregor is a man of many faces. Small, big, beard, no beard. Buzz Lightyear, 47-year-old tanning salon owner, Atlantic City party bus driver. But that's just in a literal sense. It's clear that over the years he's changed a lot, but the real change had nothing to do with the way he looks. He went from a hyper-dedicated athlete with big dreams, determined to achieve the unachievable.
You want to be perfect, you know? You're looking for perfection. That's what I'm looking for anyway, you know?
To a disgustingly rich maniac that is a maniac who is also disgustingly rich. But to be fair, quite an entertaining one too.
How do you think you would beat Ilya Abturo, Top Toro? Grab him by the scruff of the chest and slap that little nose off him, yeah? Little ding-dong of a thing he is. You were doing this little thing and I was like, what the f***? This guy, I've never seen nothing like it. This guy is a f***ing genius, yeah?
Get this off my telly now!
If you'd have just done it this way, man, you're a clean shot, bro!
As out of a state as he's currently in, the guy has a magnetism about him where you just can't help but watch what he does next. Next to Charlie Sheen, this might be the most charismatic crash out of all time.
Winning!
And in this video, I'll go over all the tomfoolery that he's been up to and the trajectory that ended in him losing his mind. Most of us were introduced to Conor in 2013 when he began taking the UFC by storm. In a landscape where most fighters didn't know how they wanted to come across to the general public, and the highest form of charisma usually meant painting your fingernails and hair, Conor was a breath of fresh air and stood out in the best way possible. Not only was he an exciting knockout artist, but he was supremely entertaining in a way that was usually reserved for professional wrestlers.
These custom-made suits aren't cheap. You know what I mean? This solid gold pocket watch. 3 people died making this watch, you know what I mean?
From the way he spoke to the way he dressed, he was unique in every way and had a connection with the fans that provided an unparalleled energy.
Jose, are you listening? Jose, keep that belt listening. McGregor's coming for you. He'll do you in 2. Walking in McGregor,
Everything about him was well thought out and refined. He truly seemed like a man on a mission. But what most didn't know is that even back then, Conor had a tendency to go off the rails and get wild. He claimed that
partying is weakness for the soul, my friend, so I try and avoid it.
And yet there were videos of him doing exactly that in between fights, and internet rumors of people running into him and seeing him do things outside of alcohol. In fact, according to his own head coach, John Kavanagh, before he ever made it into UFC, he had to practically be physically pulled out of a bender and dragged back into the gym. And if you think about it, that makes sense. The thing that always defined Conor was his obsessiveness. And when it came to fighting, it was a gift. He was the guy waking up at 2 in the morning to shadow box because he was too excited to fall asleep, watching film constantly, thinking of new and revolutionary ways to train. But when that manic energy couldn't be applied to a specific purpose, the focus would shift and an equal amount of effort would be applied to letting loose. Conor's not the type of guy that could just sit home with a cup of tea and read a book. He has to constantly be doing something. And whatever he does, whether it's good or it's bad, he will always give it 100%. The first time one of these mode switches hit the public eye was during the negotiations for his fight with Floyd Mayweather. A couple of months removed from him embarrassing Eddie Alvarez to become the first double champ in UFC history, he went on a 72-hour-long bender that ended with him being cooped up in somebody's treehouse.
Pass war. Hey!
But that was nothing compared to how hard he ended up going after the fight. It was a months-long celebratory world tour filled with yachts, alcohol, and cigars, and that's just what we saw on Instagram. The Mayweather showdown was his greatest financial achievement up to that point and reportedly grossed him around $100 million. And he fully took advantage of the opportunity by making 2 more huge business decisions. Collaborating on his clothing line, August McGregor with designer David Heil, and putting out his own brand of whiskey in Proper 12. And he wasn't even out of the arena before he started promoting it.
Oh, that whiskey tastes so good. Notorious Irish whiskey. Coming soon. I don't think I stop for half a second. I'm gonna take over the Irish whiskey market. and this is delicious, so keep an eye out for it.
But with no fight scheduled, an overabundance of money, and a celebrity status that was increasing exponentially, he devoted all of his energy to making Proper 12 a heavyweight in the alcohol business. And to his credit, he was successful in doing that, but it came at the expense of non-stop drinking. If you saw him anywhere in the first half of 2018, a bottle of his liquor was usually not far behind. And this seemed to have a profound effect on his behavior, amplifying whatever mood he was in at any given point. So if he was happy, he was ecstatic. But if he was mad, he turned into an absolute lunatic. The clearest example of which was the press conference leading up to a showdown with then lightweight champion Khabib Nurmagomedov.
A little rat, a little weasel, you little fanboy, you little fanboy. You say send location, here he is right here in front of you. I'm right in front of you. You're dead when I get my hands on you, do you hear me?
I never...
Dead. Stomp on his head as he's unconscious. If you'd have got off that bus, you'd be dead now.
No, okay.
You'd be dead and I'd be in a cell. You're a lying bastard. When money got pumped into your camp by that little scumbag that's now in a little 8x10 cell, you thought you were a don. Now look at you. But anyway, one step of life. And this beautiful,
you look like
fine bottle of whiskey is going to dominate the game.
The two hated each other. Khabib had previously cornered and smacked one of Conor's teammates in Artem Lobov, and in return, Conor attacked the bus transporting Khabib and his team from the arena to the hotel. And this energy carried over when the two met face to face, with Conor drinking on stage and practically foaming at the mouth from anger. This was a side of McGregor we hadn't seen before. He was usually calm, clever, and fully in control of his emotions. But this man seemed absolutely unhinged and unpredictable. And in my opinion, the difference was the lifestyle leading up to the fight. This was an early glimpse into what Conor would eventually become. These days, this type of behavior is no longer surprising or out of character. On the contrary, it's what we expect.
Floyd, you little you're right, you're doing bad conversations, trying to get a boxing match at 155. Fight me my way. I'm the A side. You owe your out. Bare knuckle. McGregor Mayweather, 170 pounds. Let's go, baby. Take off the gloves and fight.
And after his somewhat predictable loss to Khabib, where he got spit on, jumped, and embarrassed, he went into an even darker place. The following year, he was in the headlines for punching an old man at the bar for refusing a shot at Proper 12, as well as assault accusations by several different women. But there was a brief moment of clarity when he signed up for a fight against Donald Cowboy Cerrone. He seemed to reel it in and cut out the extracurricular activities once again. In the interviews leading up to the fight, we saw flashes of the old Conor McGregor as he appeared lucid and focused.
Got a lot of UFC records under his belt, so I'll get a great camp, a great fight, and then it'll take me into the year. I'm looking at this as a season, so this is the beginning of the season. Donald was the first one that I agreed to have a bout with, and here we are.
And that reflected on the night of the fight itself, as he ended up destroying Cowboy in the first round. It seemed like he was finally working his way back to a title fight. And the next matchup was supposed to be a gimme and easy fight against an opponent he had previously beaten in Dustin Poirier. And during the lead up, Conor was extremely confident and relaxed and almost too nice.
I'd love to taste the hot sauce.
I got a bottle for you.
I appreciate that. I've got a bottle of proper for you. I'd love to share that. So, you know what I mean? He's putting in the work. I've been highly impressed. I think the whole business has been highly impressed. After that loss many years ago, he rose up, became champion. He's given so much back. I'm honoured to share this octagon with this man. I know we have this competitive fire, and it's still there. There's still that in us, you know. There's no denying that. We have a clash, and it's going to be a good firework-filled bout. But the respect is admirable for this man from me.
There seemed to be no doubt in his mind that he was going to be the winner in devastating fashion, but unfortunately for him, this was a new and improved Dustin that would go on to finish him in the second round. And just like the embarrassment from the Khabib fight, this sent him down a dark path. He found a reason to hate Dustin and went into full-blown rage mode once again, even dragging his wife into it. This ended with him losing again, this time with his ankle snapped completely in two and requiring major surgery. He was forced to sit out and stew in his embarrassment and anger, with the only outlets for his energy seemingly being alcohol, steroids, and cosmetic procedures. And the cherry on top was Artem Lobov suing him for a percentage of the profits from Proper 12. The same Artem Lobov that was the catalyst in Conor's beef with Khabib. So now the most humiliating loss of his career was essentially for nothing. And this put Conor in the permanent drunken stupor that we find him in today.
Stand your base. Stand your base. The space is your space, yeah?
Khabib owes his bollocks to the Russian government. That's typical rat behaviour, scurrying rat. So I'm ecstatic and delighted that that's coming on top of him. And we all will welcome him back into the fight game.
I know the liquid inside of it is tasty and delicious and incredible. So it just reminded me of Artem Lobov, just a stupid little fool. Talking billions from a banger of a car. Thinks he knows it all, he's only a little baldy fool.
And the UFC won't give him an actual fight day, ensuring that he has nothing to look forward to and focus on. So what's a guy to do then? Engage in rap battles?
Yo, Itchy, I'm waiting. Motherfuckers busy picking scabs and hating. Disrespecting me and wasting time on a verse. You're not on my level, not on my universe. I'm on the way to the doll, so f all of y'all. I'm in the Lamborghini on RTE, your mar'll see me. Vroom vroom beep beep, the caddy behind me is a bulletproof Jeep. Cause it's dangerous times when you go against the state. But I fear nothing, just watch and wait. I stand up for the people who stand up for the people. If you can't stand up, stand out, let me see it. And still no return. Don't worry, they're here for me, I'll keep going. King on the throne. They try fly drones over me home, but I shoot them down with a long range gun. Ask the authorities, I am the law. An honourable employer and supporter of all.
Talk Ronaldo's ear off and buy a steak in Bare Knuckle FC, which on the one hand he's doing an excellent job of promoting, but also gives him the perfect excuse to go absolutely insane. Conor's not the type of person that can be idle. He needs a purpose or he becomes self-destructive. Fighting is both his therapy and the source of a lot of his problems. His losses drive him absolutely insane, but not being able to get in there and correct them makes it 100 times worse. And the longer he stays out, the deeper of a void he finds himself in. He needs to fight, but at this point, it might actually be too late. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think about my take in the comments down below. Like the video if you liked it, and if you want to see more content like this, hit that subscribe button and notification bell next to it. And if you want to support my channel further, become a member and get perks like early access to videos and highlighted comments. Hit the join button if you're on Android or desktop, or the link in the description if you're on iOS.
Ha 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 ha!